Hollywood icon Jane Fonda has opened up about her decision to have a facelift, saying, "I stopped because I don't want to look distorted. I'm not proud of the fact that I had one." This is in the same week that MPs have called for tighter regulation of those allowed to perform cosmetic procedures like fillers. At the moment, they don't need any mandatory training. So do you reckon that's a good idea, Carol?
Well, yeah, I've had a facelift, as everybody knows, and I haven't had all that work done that was in the picture that you used earlier.
Can we have a look at it? Can we have a look at it?
That is a very, very disturbing look for me. But it's an app, basically, or a filter or something that my friend used when he came over to stay to see what I would look like if I went too far. And I actually wrote a column about it, and it says in the column that what's worrying about that app is that is a look that some people aspire to. And when you don't have this sort of thing regulated, if everyone can just get it, and most disturbing out of all of those things is the fact that so many really young people are getting it and aspiring to a look that will probably end up
that they know is a false look as well. They know it's a completely manufactured look.
And they want it. And I think, you know, not prescription, you don't need to get it on prescription, but there should be definitely more regulation, I think. I think that there should be an age limit, and I think there should be consultations for people to make sure they haven't got any dysmorphia.
Well, I feel like, in terms of legislation, we've been so slow to legislation where if we're talking Botox, we're talking fillers, we've been very slow when it comes to the regulation and legislation regarding that, because I think it was only, in 2020 that an MP then put a bill forward to have Botox illegal for under 18. So it's only 2020.
Right, yeah.
And, Botox has been around for a very long time. So in terms of that message to a younger demographic, up until that point, it was actually, you can go and get it if you want to go and get it. And I think the messaging with that is very important. But apps like that, you're right, just don't help.
But they encourage young people to start early, because they say if you start early, you'll never get wrinkles. And it's like getting people addicted to something, because it's a lifelong cost. And when you can't afford that cost anymore, what happens to your being, your mental health, if you look in the mirror and you see a wrinkle? I mean, it's really quite worrying, actually.
Katie, can I ask you a question? Because we have this conversation often. I've said that I had my eyes done when I was 50 as a sort of hereditary thing. We had this bag here. I've never regretted it. And the one thing that I keep saying I'm going to have, but the consultant won't give me any more consultancies because I've been so many times and never done it.
He's bored of you.
He's bored of me. It's because I hate this, and if I see a profile view of me, that's why I hate sitting in this seat.
What are you scared of, though?
I'm not scared. I am scared about something going wrong, and I know it's brutal, you've said that, but the question I want to ask Katie is, do you think, oh, my God, these women are so superficial, when you've had to have reconstructive surgery because of a terrible, terrible incident that happened to you?
Short answer is no, I don't. And, I really respect you and everything you've been through. I really admire you. And I think it's such a complex thing of, why do you feel like that about your neck? It's because of misogyny and society. It's an ageist industry that you work in. And,
but also you don't like not looking like you anymore.
Yeah, but
when your face changes, it's hard.
Yeah, and I think when you age, it's a gradual change, but sometimes you notice suddenly you do look different. If you're in an accident, it's overnight. If you're born with a genetic condition, it's as you become aware of your peer groups, you realise you're not the same. But, had I not been burnt and I'd aged, I might have had treatments. I probably would have gone on to do things like that as I got older.
Right.
So no, I don't judge you for it. And I think that's the key here. For me, I do agree that Botox and fillers should be regulated for lots of different reasons. One, for if you go to a beautician and you have an adverse reaction, they are not qualified to prescribe you with antibiotics.
Well, it's in terms of the Botox v fillers. I mean, the legislation where Botox was introduced in terms of prescription only, that was done a little while ago. But one of the things that they're wanting to do is bring fillers into line with it for exactly the same reason as you're saying. If something happens...
So if you could... I don't agree with somebody only being able to facilitate a treatment but not being able to correct it if it goes wrong. They need to be able to do both. So, yeah, I'm not anti any kind of surgery or treatment in any situation, so long as it's the person's choice and they're of sound mental health. I don't think you can say we're allowed to judge one group of people in society but not another.
But then, because I think you're right in terms of things like, Carol, you talked about, young people and then being encouraged to start it young. And I've had a situation where I went into like a cosmetic surgery place to do something with IV drips, whatever. Anyway, and the woman there was trying to convince me in my early 30s to start doing it because they said that actually it's quite late for me to start. And then you start thinking, oh God, is there something wrong? Should I be getting it done?
Yeah.
But I was sound of mind and said, no, I know I don't need it. There's so many young people that don't have the strength to do that.
I get accused of being a hypocrite for saying, you know, I don't think that young people should be getting that. They go, oh, you had a facelift. Yeah, I was 58 or 50, whatever. What was I? I don't know. It was ages ago.
She looks so young now, she can't remember.
No, it was 58. And, you know, I probably could do with another one. I wouldn't have it because, yes, it is pretty brutal. But the fact is, if I hadn't have had it, I would look so much worse now.
You
but
just look
just
different.
Getting used to...
To you may feel like you look worse. You just look different, and it doesn't mean it's worse or better.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't think you need
in...
another one. I think you look lovely.
But it's interesting, even what you said about going for an IV drip, because I wouldn't let someone cannulate me who wasn't a nurse, you know, so...
It's not something,
that's not
it's not
regulated.
something I've repeated
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Didn't see the point.